Jeff's Superscript is brought to you by Black Cat Comics and Collectibles, in my opinion, the best comic shop and clubhouse on the internet. Make sure to follow them at Black Cat Burbank on Instagram and ask them about their Stray Cats Club for special perks. Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either July 13th or 14th, 2021, and I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy this week if I could buy just one book? So, I've mentioned this before, these videos are a little bit longer than I'd like for them to be. In an effort to keep them shorter, I'm going to cut out my cover pick for the week. So that's a feature that is going to be missing from this week's video. In addition, I want to mention that this week's books aren't particularly exciting. I thought the summer months would be a great time to release some banger books, but so far, week after week, there's some tried and true series that I enjoy reading, but there hasn't been very many standouts for the past couple of weeks. So this is just a mixture of 6 different books that I found at least worth semi-noting in this video. The first will be 5, will be my honorable mentions, and then my last pick will be my just one book pick of the week. Let's go ahead and start off the content of this video, first by taking a look back to my pick from 2 weeks ago, which was The Department of Truth, issue number 10. And the question remains, was it a worthy and worthwhile pick to be my just one book pick of the week? And the answer is yes, it's The Department of Truth. It's James Tynion IV. I'm a big, gigantic fan. Yes, it was a worthy pick. In a week that wasn't very exciting, similar in a lot of ways to this week, it was my pick by default. And yes, I am glad I picked it. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoy this title a lot, The Department of Truth. I recommend it for you and for everybody else on the planet. That being said, as a standalone issue, it wasn't like the best standalone issue. It was good in the way that Department of Truth is good to me, but it's similar to kind of how like the X-Files was. On the X-Files, you had the overarching major like kind of conspiracy, governmental conspiracy that Fox and Mulder were fighting to learn more about and against. Then, from time to time, there were individual episodes that dealt with them, like chasing the Wolfman or Dracula or whatever kind of like individual monster type of episode that there was. This issue number 10 was similar in that regard. There is the overarching kind of Black Hat versus Department of Truth storyline that's really interesting and that I can't wait to learn more about. This was more of a Dracula or Wolfman story focusing on Bigfoot. So it wasn't as exciting, but like I said, it had all the things that I like about the Department of Truth in it. And it's actually like by the end of the first half of this story, there's kind of like, where is this going to go? So I'm excited to read issue number 11. Like I said, I like this title. I did like this issue. It was a worthy and worthwhile pick. All right, let's move forward with this week's book. First, like I said, by looking at my 5 honorable mentions and then ending with my just one book pick of the week. The first book I want to mention to you is a new book called Sinister War, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Dr. Octopus is back, and the Sinister War has begun. Oct's got a new Sinister 6, and if you think he's thought big in the past, think again. What Oct doesn't know is that the Vulture has a sextet of his own, the Savage Six. It's an all-out war between 2 of the greatest villains in the Marvel Universe, and the only person they hate more than each other is Spider-Man. Spidey's in deep trouble with the toughest battle that he's ever faced. Nick Spencer and Mark Bagley team up for this epic Spider-Man story guaranteed to shock readers everywhere. Guaranteed to shock readers everywhere. I mean, we'll see about that. Hopefully, it's good enough storytelling and eventful enough that it will actually do that. I kind of really like villain-themed stories, especially when you think, this not only is this a villain-themed story where a group of villains are working together, but you have a villain-themed story about a group of villains working together against another group of villains working together. This could be pretty entertaining and a lot of fun. Spider-Man has a great rogues gallery, so it could be an entertaining thing. I think ultimately this is for the deep Spider-Man fan, the really very serious Spider-Man fan, but I think it will be enjoyable. At least that's the vibe I get off of it for the Spider-Man fan. The next book that I would like to mention to you this week is a new book called Beyond the Breach, issue number 1 from Aftershock Comics. Here's the description. Life sucks for Vanessa. Her mother just died and her boyfriend is cheating on her with her own sister. To clear her mind, Vanessa is taking the California road trip that she's been dreaming about for years. Her postcard perfect drive through the old growth forest quickly turns when the breach hits. A bizarre anomaly in the sky plunges California into a nightmare world populated with strange, extra-dimensional creatures. Now Vanessa, along with Dougie, an orphan child, and Kai, a strange fuzzball of a beast, must fight to survive if they ever hope to make it back home, if there's even a home to return to. Written by Ed Brisson and illustrated by Damien Cusiero, Beyond the Breach is a fantastical sci-fi road trip adventure about perseverance and finding family in unexpected places. Okay, I don't really have anything to add. If that description sounded entertaining to you and interesting to you, if the names, the artist, the writer are ones that you enjoy, this might be a book for you to check out this week. But once again, it's a little bit of a light week as far as things are concerned, so it's easy to kind of point out something like this. If you're looking for something new and an indie new title to check out, this might be a good one for you. The next book I want to mention to you is Haha, issue number 6 from Image Comics. Here's the description. Miniseries finale. Happy Hank, the very happy clown. Now, where have we seen this guy before? The worlds of Haha and Ice Cream Man reveal themselves as one and the same. In this story about the last days of Happy Hank, previously seen in Ice Cream Man number 8. Featuring artwork, of course, by the Ice Cream Man creative team of Martin Morazzo and Chris O'Halloran. Halloran. Okay, so I never read Ice Cream Man. I haven't read a single issue of Ice Cream Man. I have been reading every issue of Haha, and I've really been enjoying Haha. I like this anthology horror series as a medium for these types of stories. I think that W. Maxwell Prince, who's been writing this and his Haha and Ice Cream Man, tells really interesting stories that kind of make you think. Some are better than others, but all of them at least are very like, huh, that was interesting. So I've been enjoying reading Haha. It's interesting that this last issue of Haha is tying into a character that we've already seen in Ice Cream Man issue number 8. It makes me wonder, actually, if I should try to hunt down Ice Cream Man issue number 8, because if Ice Cream Man or Haha ever becomes like an option title, which it almost did, it was at one point, and then something bad happened, I forget the details, but I think it ended up falling through. If it ever comes back to life, maybe we'll see this character on the small or large screen. But like I said, ultimately, Haha's been enjoyable, the stories have been enjoyable, so the fact that it's coming to an end, I think is at least, very least notable. And the fact that we're tying in a character that we've already seen from Ice Cream Man, I think, is especially notable. So I wanted to put that on the list this week. The next book I want to mention is Extreme Carnage Scream, issue number 1. This is part 2 of the 8-part Extreme Carnage event that's happening from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Scream! Scream. Curse of Carnage, writer Clay McLeod Chapman returns to the character to lend his lethal sensibilities to extreme carnage. Andy Benton has always been a fighter, and that's never been truer since she bonded to the Scream symbiote a few months ago. But even after Absolute Carnage and King in Black, Andy has never had to fight like this, and worse still, if she can't save her symbiote from whatever unseen force is affecting it, she might have to do it alone. Okay, once again, it's a bit of a light week. I wasn't going to mention this book at first, but if you are interested in this whole extreme Carnage event that's happening, these 8 issues that are coming out, I think it's semi-interesting to see how the fallout of Null's defeat on Earth will affect the symbiotes in the Marvel Universe. So if you're a fan of symbiotes, if you're a fan of this character, this is a book for you to consider checking out this week. If you're not a fan of them, it's probably a pretty easy pass. My next one that I want to mention, once again, did I mention that it's kind of a light week? So I was going pretty deep to try to find a total of 6 books to talk about this week. The next book I want to talk about is The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 1, the 2nd print. Now, I'm going to, full disclosure, okay? You all know I'm a big fan of James Tynion IV, so you know that there's a bias there already. I will also, full disclosure, let you know that I spent hundreds of dollars on issue number 1. I spent a lot of money on issue number 1. Specifically, I bought 11 copies of the A cover, the B cover, and 11 A's, 11 B's, and 11 of the 1 in 25. I'm specking hard on The Nice House on the Lake, in part because I really like James Tynion IV a lot, but especially because I picked up all these books after reading issue number 1, because I thought it was really, really good. And I'm really excited to see what the next 11 issues are going to bring. So I mention the 2nd print of The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 1, because I think that there might be some spec potential there to own the later prints, similarly to how there is some spec potential on more successful books and their later prints. But also, frankly, if you didn't pick up issue number 1, they're tough to come by right now. They are all above cover price. So if you didn't want to spend above cover price and you wanted to read this and you wanted to do it, like I said, for cover price, and maybe even have a little spec potential to fall back on, you might consider picking up The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 1, 2nd print, just to get on board with the story. Issue number 2 came out this past week. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, much surprising to myself. But so it's easy to get on board. You're not going to be too far behind with the 2nd print next week of issue number 1 and issue number 2, which came out this week. You can go pick up both. All right, let's move on to the book this week that I would buy if I could buy just one book. And that book is Thor number 15 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. The wounds of Donald Blake have not yet healed, and new hell is afoot. With all inhabitants back in Asgard and Odin's presence returned after being away so long, an air of tension now sits upon the throne. Father and son, all father and all father, Odin and Thor. Is this relationship forever doomed? And what does it mean for the 10 realms? Join the new Thor artist, Alessandro Vitti, for the start of a new arc. Actually, this description is wrong. The new artist is not Alessandro Vitti. It was, at one point, something happened, and then Alessandro got removed from the title. The new artist is actually Michele Bandini. So just a little fun fact right there. Now, why did I pick Thor number 15? Well, it's written by Donny Cates, and I'm a fan of Donny Cates. I'm especially a fan of Donny Cates in this Thor title. I've really enjoyed every single issue of Thor. Also, I mean, Thor had a stupid amount of spec potential during that first 6-issue story arc, issues number 1 through 6. But then it petered off with the Black Winter just kind of disappearing, and people stopped specking on Thor and talking about Thor. I still think that Donny Cates has something up his sleeve. And Donny Cates a lot in his stories, in Venom, and now we're going to see it especially specifically in Thor, focuses on father-son relationships. Now with Odin being back in the picture, we're going to see a little bit of a father-son dynamic between Thor and Odin. And I think that's kind of like Donnie's thing a little bit. So I have a feeling that this might be the story that a lot of his ideas about Thor were building up to. So it's going to be interesting to see how the return of Odin is going to play out with both of them being the All-Father. So I'm excited about it from a writer standpoint and a story standpoint. I'm also interested in checking out what the new artist is about. This Michelle Bandini. I assume it's a female, that it's not like a Michelle, like French male. Let's just say I'm interested in seeing their art in this title, and hopefully it's up to the same caliber as the previous artist, who was really, really great. In addition, part of my excitement for this book this week is that I haven't read a Thor book in 3 months. The last Thor book, Thor number 14, came out on April 14th, exactly 3 months to the day before this issue number 15 is coming out on July 14th. So it's been a while. I wonder if there's a few explanations. It could have been that Donny Cates was too busy to write Thor, and they said, okay, take a break while you do King in Black and finish off Venom, and then you'll get back to Thor, and that was the reason for the delay. Or it's possible they're like, let's separate Thor out so we can focus as readers and as publishers, like Marvel as a publisher, can focus on Venom and King in Black. Or maybe there's something in Thor that is particularly cool and exciting and awesome that's going to be coming. This is what I hope. That they didn't want the hype for it and the excitement for it to conflict with the hype and excitement for the King in Black and the ending of their run on Venom. So the last one is a little bit of wishful thinking on my part, but regardless, it's been a while, once again, since I've seen a Thor book, 3 months since I've read one. I'm excited about Donny Cates, I'm excited about the title, I'm excited about the new artist, and I'm excited about the new storyline. So for all of these reasons, that is why Thor issue number 15 is my just one book pick for this week. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. If you appreciate the content that I put in this video, likes are appreciated by me. If you have any feedback on this list or any of the books I didn't mention that you want to talk about, I'd love to hear your comments down in the comments section. And finally, if you aren't already a subscriber to this channel and you watched all the way to the end, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I invite you to go ahead and subscribe. I have some other videos that you think you might want to check out. One last time, thank you all so much once again for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.